Hello, fencers. Here's a compilation of some cool longsword hits from my last 5 tournaments, and with bonus unscripted yapping on top of it. So if you're just here for the fencing, probably turn down the audio a lot because I'm just going to be here mumbling. Please enjoy. I'm not scripted, obviously, but I figured I would talk a little bit about plateauing and how my fencing has been going lately. After Longtail 2025, that was my last really big success, honestly. You know, think about it in a HEMA ratings kind of lens. Got 28 points there, but since then I've been in the 1780s for like 6 months at this point. I've had a string of disappointing performances. You know, Helsinki was the first time I traveled internationally. It went pretty well, but I really wasn't happy with the longsword performance. But you know, that's just how it is. Clash for the Cash didn't even make the bracket. Yeah, it was a little disappointing, but you know, you always got to keep fencing. So, I think a lot of the reason why I haven't been doing as well lately is my mental game. It's been pretty haggard, a mixture of arrogance and complacence in the wrong time for each. You know, sometimes when you go into a match, you should be arrogant. You should be confident in your attacks. You should be confident in your parry riposte, and you shouldn't let your opponent psych you out. You know, every fencer should have a healthy amount of arrogance that lets them play their game well, assuming, of course, that their game is a game which has inherent responses to other people's skew builds. But that's a topic for another time, if I choose to make more, you know, tactic-style videos. Let me know if you want that. But my arrogance and complacence is manifesting itself in bad ways. You know, you're not going to see it in this video, because this is just me hitting people. But in between me hitting people, I'm doing a lot of stupid shit. I'm, you know, forgetting to take the initiative because I'm like, oh, I'll just parry riposte them, and I forget to do anything, and I get hit, and I lose. Or on the flip side, I get way too comfortable with my attacks, and I just make big stupid attacks without setup. You're going to see a bunch of those in the second half of the video, which we might be coming up on by now. Like at IGX especially, I was really just sending it every single exchange. And I could tell myself that that's because I was working on my ballistic passing step, which is kind of true. But I should have been thinking more and timing people and setting it up. I really wasn't. I think I also need to just train more. You know, I've been going to more practices because, you know, in the last year I moved clubs and I go to practice more often. You know, but part of that's coaching. And part of that's like, you know, you need to make sure you got to be hungry for practice. You got to be hungry for improvement. Even if you go to 2 practices a week, if you're not hungry for improvement and you're not getting good sharp passes in there, you're going to improve more slowly than someone who goes to 1 practice a week but is rabid at that practice and fences the whole time and fences people who beat them, and really focuses on improving and footage review. I'm coming up on 5 years of fencing now, and I guess it's just a little bit harder to make for every practice to feel that special and that important. You know, when I started out, I was in college. I had like 1.5 hours a week to practice, and I really made those count. But you know, this week, you know, these days, I spend like 6 hours a week training in some form or another. But I feel like I'm doing a poor job at getting the fire back in me. So that's kind of my resolution for going forward. I need to, you know, get the energy back in my training. And I should finally get off my ass and actually do some strength training. That would be a good idea for my development. You know, that's a goal that I need to set for myself, and at some point just pursue it. So tomorrow, I'm going and competing in BHL, Longsword and Saber. Hopefully that goes well. And then after that, I'm gonna go coach for 5 hours. So you know, that's a big fencing day. Like I did, you know, when I was first starting out. When I was first starting out, I would drive, you know, to multiple club practices in a day to make, you know, big practice days where I could get enough practice and do a lot of practice outside of practice hours to get more fencing in. But these days I'm complacent, I'm arrogant, I'm lazy. So I gotta just stop that. I gotta lock in. So that's my plan for the near future. I'm just coming off my injury that I got at IGX Spring. It feels kind of okay. You know, I'm fencing on it now, which is good, but I do notice it now and then. So hopefully I don't do anything rash and get that extra destroyed again. But we shall see. Goal is, you know, a decent performance at Boar's Tooth. My hopes are high this year. I'm competing in all the categories, which is fun. Well, not all the categories. You know, I can't do some of them because I don't qualify for them. Obviously, that's just how fencing is. But yeah, it's gonna be a good time. I'll see you all there if you're coming and you watch this. If not, bye. See you when we fence next. Good luck, have fun in your own training, and don't lose your fire, guys. Keep going, keep training, keep practicing. Always be hungry for it. Be hungry for the wins, and it will come to you.